దయచేస్తారా
Hare Krishna, everybody. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Jai Jagannath. Jai Baladev. Jai Subhadra. Jai ISKCON Birmingham. It gives me the greatest pleasure on this beautiful, gorgeous, glorious sunny day to welcome you all to this amazing festival of the Lord on his chariot. It gives me a great pleasure because I'm actually married into Birmingham. My husband was born My husband, Pundrik Das, is just here. He's a Birmingham boy. And you might think that I brought him to Krishna consciousness, but actually, listen to this. He brought me to Krishna consciousness. And the way it happened is he saw, when he was a young boy, only at school, he saw our devotees singing and dancing on the streets of Birmingham. And guess what? He thought, oh, I'll never become like them. But here we are. Do you want to say another introduce, Maharaj?
Hare Krishna. How are you all doing then, eh? All right. Actually, this building here, this is really special because that's where I started to read about Krishna. Actually, I was supposed to be studying physics, chemistry and biology. This is the library, I might add. But books about God and particularly books about Krishna were particularly more attractive. And as Hare Krishna Dasi said, when we get to the other end of the Ratha Yatra, we'll actually stop in High Street. And that's where, in July 1974, I saw 4 devotees doing Sankirtan. And those devotees set the seed of the holy name. And then, on the M6 motorway, at Cowley Services by Coventry, a devotee gave me 3 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sankirtan Yagya Ki, Sankirtan Yagya Ki, Sankirtan Yagya Ki, Go Premanande.
So really, we're coming to the main point to introduce our chief guest. And he's absolutely amazing because he goes to these festivals the world over. He was in Leicester last week and he's gone away internationally and he's come back again to this Ratha Yatra today. And he really and he also came to London Ratha Yatra, which was our first Ratha Yatra in England this year. And that's His Holiness Srila Jai Pathak Swami Maharaj. And he shows us in person how live this process is of descending mercy, which goes right back to Lord Jagannath thousands of years ago. And he's a living person who lives this tradition where this wonderful mercy, the knowledge and the happiness comes down from the Lord himself, from generations of spiritual masters to their disciples. So His Holiness Srila Jai Pathak Swami Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Offer obeisances to my spiritual masters, Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada Ki, to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, to Jagannath Baladev and Subhadra, also to my Vartma Pradasha Guru Jayananda Prabhu. I joined 1968 as a brahmachari in the Hare Krishna movement on the day of the Ratha Yatra, and Jayananda Prabhu shaved my head and entered me into the monkhood. That's his picture there. That was the first custom-made Ratha Yatra, Ratha cart in ISKCON. So for me, Ratha Yatras are a big part of our heritage and part of our culture. And I'm very glad that here in Birmingham, which you heard from the mayor last year, is the largest city in UK. And they say London's many little cities. This is the one big one. Anyway, we can debate that one. But thank you. Very happy to be here, and somehow by Krishna's mercy, I think I've been here for every Ratha Yatra in Birmingham since the first one. And I hope that I'll be able to come to all the others as long as I'm here on the planet. We're very honored that representative of the town council is here again. And now all over the world in major cities in different parts of the world, it's quite common for the mayor or a representative of the town council or some dignitary to come inaugurate the Ratha Yatra. So really happy that that tradition is being maintained here in Birmingham. We hope that all the devotees, know that while this is an opportunity to do some seva, and then doing this service, you'll also get a special blessing. So this is a rare opportunity. We're really happy that there's going to be a lot of cultural programs later today, and there'll be a lot of cultural exchange. And then we're very happy that the cultural, variety that's here in Birmingham is being promoted so much, and we also appreciate that so many devotees from the different communities and participants of the Ratha Yatra are participating, making this one of the special events in the UK. May you all please take advantage of all these opportunities and chant Hare Krishna and be happy. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Councillor Penny Wright, Hare Krishna Das. Hare Krishna. Please say a few words.
I'd like to welcome all the devotees to Birmingham again. It's wonderful that the sun has followed you here today, and I know you will have a wonderful time here, and praise the Lord. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, I like to say something about Penny White. About 2 months ago she wrote me a letter. I like to, when is London rather than Leicester. I always come to Birmingham. This year I like to go to London and Leicester. And he did it, she did it, yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, thank you very much, Prabhuji. Now we're going to start the procession, the ceremony to start the procession. Now, who? Sorry. Hare Krishna. Sorry, we missed you. Yeah, thank you. And now,
Jai Jagannath Swami Ki Jai! Shri Birmingham Ratha Yatra Ki Jai! Nitai Gaura Premanande! That's good.
Bala Haribo! Welcome to Lord Jagannath, Lord Balaram and Lady Subhadra. Haribo! Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai! So thank you very much indeed for all coming today. This is a very wonderful festival, and we have with us today one very senior leader of the Hare Krishna movement internationally. I'd like to introduce him to you. Many of you will know who he is already. So please give a very warm welcome to His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami. Hare Bol! Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. I offer my obeisance to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Also to the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the golden form, Lord Gauranga. Offer my obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, and His Swayam Prakash, Sri Baladev, and His internal potency, Subhadra Devi. Jai Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ki. Mukhakaroti Bachalam Bangulangayate Giring Yat Kipata Mahang Bande Sigurung Ninatarinam Paramana Namaravam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram. सुस्वागतम, धन्यवाद आने के लिए, आपका उपस्थित होने से हम बहुत सुखी हैं, प्रसन्न हैं। हरे कृष्णा। এখানে আসার জন্য আমরা খুব আনন্দিত। যারা বাংলা জানেন, আপনার কাছে আমি সুস্বাগতম বলছি। হরে কৃষ্ণ। For all those who speak Tamil, I'd like to welcome them with a Wanakam. And for the Gujaratis, Kamcho. So this is a multicultural program, but everyone's coming together here in the center of Birmingham. And this wonderful festival, this festival dates back thousands and thousands of years. It's observed on the side of the Salt Ocean at Jagannath Puri, where Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra are going on this journey every year in the summer. And practically about 1 million people participate. We're looking forward here also having 1 million people participating in Birmingham. This is a large city. We're glad that thousands are participating. This festival is a special, this chariot, this has no motor, no horses. I like to see who has been kind of proxying as the horses here for this program. You can raise your hand. Who's been pulling the chariot? Hari Bol! Yeah, all of you have this opportunity. You pull the chariot of Jagannath, take him on this journey, and you're all getting a special blessing. So those who are walking with Jagannath, those who are pulling the chariot, those who are chanting and dancing before Jagannath, all of them get special blessings. So the idea here is to give good fortune to everybody here in Birmingham and all over the Midlands and all over the United Kingdom and all over Europe and the world. So this festival is a festival of rejoicing. Lord Chaitanya used to celebrate this festival in the mood of taking Krishna back to his childhood home of Vrindavan. So he would be taking the chariot of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra in that mood, and we hope that this is a big reunion for Krishna and his devotees. So this is also a celebration where everybody getting together. People come from all over the place. In fact, there are people here from all over the world. Then there's also a transcendental charity where you want to see the upliftment of the entire universe, the whole world, everyone to become spiritualized, God conscious. So that's a transcendental charity in this kind of festival where you're pulling the chariot, where you're also singing, and you're doing this also helping everyone, but it's something that's in a transcendental plane. So I want to thank everyone for the transcendental charity you're doing. and for helping people in this way get more spiritualized. Our human form of life is very short. Generally, we think that we can be happy in this human form of life simply by sensual gratification. The more that our senses have good inputs, we think that this is happiness. But unfortunately, the senses are the cause not only for our happiness, but also the cause for us to suffer. The same senses, just like we eat, we feel good, but if we eat too much, then we can also get indigestion. So some things we do cause us in the future also some kind of illness or problem. So like this, our senses are not a one-way street, they go both ways. But there's a higher happiness. We have also spiritual senses, we want to awaken those. So this process of bhakti yoga that we're practicing is that we use all our senses in transcendental ways. So we also seeing the beautiful festival where it's a feast for our eyes. We're hearing the beautiful music. That's also a kind of a meditation. We're using our hands to clap, to play on cymbals, drums, or to dance. So this is using our sense of touch. Also at the end of the procession there'll be a feast and you can use your tongue for tasting the feast. And all these things are in this way. We also smell the incense, the beautiful flowers. Actually has a smell very nice. So like this we use all of our senses in the meditation. So this is a kind of an active yoga. It's called bhakti yoga, and we use all of our senses in this spiritual meditation. This way it uplifts our consciousness. So we hope that all of you experiment with this transcendental experience of using your senses in a spiritual oriented way. That's good for everyone. That doesn't harm anyone. So this is what's happening here. It's a Mahotsav, and part of it also is to have a spiritual feast at the end. So hope all of you are enjoying yourselves, that you have a wonderful festival, and that you'll also participate in the singing, the dancing, and all the aspects. Just allow yourself to get absorbed, and this absorption is also known as samadhi, or a spiritual deep meditation. So thank you very much, and we want to also mention that this festival was brought to the UK by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is ISKCON founder and spiritual master, Acharya. And he came from India in 1965 to the West and brought this to the UK and all over the world. We're very happy to keep his tradition. He left the world in 1977, which is now this is the 30th anniversary of his departure. So we're also celebrating in his memory, keeping up his tradition, keeping up the things that he began. I want to thank all of you for helping us in our service to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada.
No problem.
Thank you very much. I want to also make a special thanks to the Town Council or City Council of Birmingham in this multiracial, multi-ethnic, multi-varied city. They've been also supporting and want to help them for their active participation. Heard the Deputy Mayor was supposed to speak here. He's going to meet us at the main stage and he's going to speak there, but we have Penny Wade, who's here from the Town Council. I want to thank her very much for her participation. Let's give her a big hand. Hare Krishna.
Once again this year the sun has shined on your festival, and I know that it will bring great happiness to you all. You're bringing great happiness to Birmingham, and Birmingham welcomes you and hopes to welcome you for many, many more years. I'd like to thank all of you who have pulled the chariot and brought it to this place. And now the work will really begin because it's uphill all the way now. But there will be food waiting for you. Thank you everybody for coming, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much, Councillor Penny Wang. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Everybody can give her a big blessing of Hari Bol for her future success.
Okay.
A big blessing. Everyone raise your hand and say Hari Bol for Penny Wang. Hari Bol! blessing for her success.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Are you still awake? Okay, now it starts to get really exciting because Jayadev Prabhu is going to do something very interactive with you all. He's going to sing songs about Lord Jagannath. So please, he gets really excited when everybody joins in. So I'm going to pass you over now to His Grace Jayadev Das and Jai Jagannath!
Okay, so you know the mantras, just listen to what I sing and then sing them back to us, yeah?
And we have a good catcher.
Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev. Beautiful. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Subhadra, Jagannath Swami, Nayana Patagami, Boho to me, Boho to me, Jagannath Swami, Jagannath Swami. Jagannath Swami, Nayana Patagami, Boho to me, Boho to me. Everybody! Jagannath Swami, Nayana Patagami, Nayana Patagami, Boho to me, Boho to me. Are you ready? Jimmy, get up. Okay, now, just a few people at the front have been singing. I want everyone to sing and look at Jagannath as you do it. Jai Jagannath. Not yet. Jai Jagannath. All the way to the back, yeah? Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra. 2, 3. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Jai Jagannath. Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra. Fantastic! Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jai Subhadra. Everybody! Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra. Oh, Jai Jagannath. Jagannatha Swami, Nayana
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. Birmingham, I live in Birmingham myself, and I was just noting as the festival came up, and I'm amazed at the end of term how much these children appreciate their teachers. She gets all kinds of cards and gifts and everything. It's amazing. I can't believe it. So what to speak of a great spiritual teacher who's spread spiritual knowledge over the whole world. It's quite amazing. So now we're going to sing a song in glorification of Srila Prabhupada, who made this spiritual knowledge available to us. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Mahamantra Ke, Ratha Yatra Ki, Jai Govinda. I've had the fortune of working with the Hare Krishna Society in the former Soviet Union since 1992. The Krishna Consciousness Society was very active even at the time of the Soviet Union, but due to the restriction of human rights, the society could not publicly and legally function. Still, the society was very much active underground, teaching people this wonderful science of the soul, which is taught in Bhagavad Gita. We know that in Bhagavad Gita, which was spoken 5,000 years ago by Sri Krishna, he explains, Dehino sminyata dehe komaram yovanam jara, tata dehantara praptir didastata namuyate. Sri Krishna says that none of us are bodies, but that we are all souls. And that if we wish to experience the highest level of peace and satisfaction and equality and happiness in life, we need to see one another on the spiritual platform. So this message of Bhagavad Gita, as given to us by our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada, was spreading widely during the times of the Soviet Union. And then when the Soviet Union was finished, the Krishna Consciousness movement came out very openly and was very positively accepted. I started traveling in those countries in 1992, and by 1997 I had shifted my base from Vrindavan, India, which is the home of Sri Krishna, to Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan is one of the countries of the Central Asian region of the Soviet Union. Countries such as Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan. Just below those countries you find Afghanistan and Pakistan, and then Hindustan, or India. And we began teaching people this wonderful science, how to understand your spiritual nature, how to see one another in a true spirit of equality, and how to love beyond bodily conditions of life. And this message is being received very, very nicely. In Kazakhstan, the Krishna Consciousness movement was so nicely received, and so many people were coming and joining this movement, that in 1999 the Society for Krishna Consciousness purchased a beautiful farm outside of the commercial capital of Almaty, Kazakhstan, which is called Almaty. And our members began developing the place so beautifully. They turned it into a yoga center for all of Central Asia, where people could come and they could learn mantra meditation and learn the science of Hatha Yoga, learn the benefits of becoming a vegetarian, and learn the deepest levels of spiritual meditation that are taught in Bhagavad Gita and the great Indian class.
In the form of Parashuram, he got rid of the tyrannous rulers of the world. And in the form of Lord Ram, to uphold Dharma, he scattered the 10 heads in all 4 directions of the demon Ravana.
शिव पूषी विचरे वसन्नं जलदावं शिव पूषी विचरे वसन्नं जलदावं हलगति भीति मिलित यमुनावं हलगति भीति मिलित यमुनावं शृणु सुखदं शुभदं भवसारं सुखदं शुभदं भवसारं केशवरेत दशविधरूप केशवरेत दशविधरूप
Hare Krishna. Please give him a big, big, big round of applause again for that. It was a very, very nice dance. Thank you, Emma. Hare Krishna.
My obeisances at his lotus feet. Also to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the founder of the Hare Krishna movement 521 years ago. He appeared in Mayapur, Bengal, of India. I offer him my respectful obeisances. I live at his birthplace in Mayapur. I'll tell you more about that later too. And also this festival dedicated to Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra. Jagannath means Lord of the universe. Baladev means source of all spiritual strength. And Subhadra is the spiritual supreme energy. So we offer our obeisances to Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra, to Lord Shri Krishna. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Mukha Karoti Vachalam Pangur Langayate Giring Yatki Pata Mahang Bande Sri Gurung Dinatarinang Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram. As I mentioned, I come from India. I've been living in India since 1970. That's now about 37 years. And I'm coming to you as an Indian citizen. And I'm very happy to come to the Birmingham Ratha Yatra festival. So, how many of you know about Hare Krishna? How many chant the Hare Krishna mantra? Anybody here chants? A number of people. Well, this chanting, how many don't know yet? Anybody doesn't know yet? Few people don't know. Okay. So, you see, according to Vedas, there's Vedic literatures which are given to us, handed down from the spiritual world to give us a guide how we can live in this material world, how we can get out of this material world, and go back to the spiritual world. So these Veda means knowledge. So they're called the Vedas. And there are many branches of Vedas. There's 4 original Vedas with 108 Upanishads. Then there's 18 histories called Puranas. Then there's the Mahabharata. Like there's so many varieties. The Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna 5,000 years ago. And that is also giving us a very simple explanation about life. It's very important that we know about life from a spiritual perspective. So in the Vedas also said in order for us to gain spiritual knowledge, to gain this perspective, we need to spiritualize our existence. So in other eras, long, long ago, there were other processes like temple worship and meditation and fire sacrifices. But especially for this day and age, it's recommended that we should chant these names of Krishna, names of Vishnu, names of the Supreme Lord. In all religions, there's names of God, and we respect all of them. Just like in the Bible, they say Jehovah, or in the Quran, they have Allah. I think they have 99 names of God in the Quran. So in the Vedas said that actually the Supreme Lord has unlimited names. But all these names have got special spiritual potency. So by repeating these names, it actually liberates our consciousness. It's called a mantra. Mantra. It's 2 words in Sanskrit. Man means the mind, and tra means to liberate. So mantra is a sound that liberates our consciousness. In the Skanda Purana, it mentions that we just chant 2 syllables. We can liberate our consciousness. The 2 syllables are ha. Can everybody repeat? Ha. Ha. Don't hear you a little loud. Ha. Like you're going to the ha. Ha. Re. Ha. Re. Re. There's 2 to ha and re. You got it? Now let's try one more time. Really loud. Ha. Re. Ha. Re. Hari. 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 So was that easy? So by saying that, then the Supreme Lord, Hari, will steal from you. Uh-oh, what'd you get into now? He'll steal away all your suffering, all your mental anxieties, all your stress, your problems, simply by repeating this mantra. Hari! I think everybody minds if somebody steals your garbage, you don't mind, right? But this, all the mental, physical problems, all get stolen away just by saying Hari. So often you see devotees say Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Bol means chant, Hari. Bol. So like this. So there's many different names, different short mantra, long mantra. The Maha mantra that we chant in the beginning is Hare Krishna. There's only 3 different names. Hare, Hare, Krishna, and Rama. So Hare, Krishna, and Rama, these 3 names are organized into a 16-name formation. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Thank you, very nice. It'll be a little louder, but it's okay. Now there's 16 names. If you just repeat that, whenever you're in anxiety, whenever you're in stress, whenever you're in danger, or just as a daily practice, you'll find it will relieve you from so many problems, and it will gradually awaken. You see, every one of us, part of our nature is to be eternal, Sat, Chit to be conscious and knowledgeable, and Ananda to be blissful. It's our nature to be eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. But instead we find that we're in a temporary life where we're forced to die, we're forced to get old. Everything that we love, that we get attached to, somehow, sometime it often gets taken away from us in different ways. So instead of being in a permanent situation, we find ourselves in a very temporary situation. But our nature is to be eternal, and that's why this is all very artificial for us. We can't understand why these things are happening. And it's our nature to have the complete knowledge. But generally in the material world, we're never getting the complete knowledge. Even the newspapers, now we have internet, we have so many medias of communication which are giving us so much knowledge. But we never know how much of it is actually true. It keeps changing. Sometimes you hear one thing, like they tell, anyway, I won't get into political issues, but you know, there's so many things that were told to people, and then later on there's retractions and amendments and new revelations. So we don't get the complete picture all the time. But we want to, it's our nature to have a complete picture of what's going on. That's called Chit. Instead of Chit, we're getting Chit. So then Ananda, everybody by nature wants to be happy. It's our nature to be happy. It's within us. So this is called Sat Chit Ananda, eternal blissful knowledge. So how to awaken that natural spiritual knowledge, natural happiness from within. That is helped very much by chanting this mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this festival has a lot of that chanting going on, but this festival is a multi-faceted festival. We have a procession with Jagannath, we have the music, we have the Indian decoration, we have the cultural programs. All of this is to also spiritually uplift our consciousness. So the real purpose of life is that we should know our spiritual nature. We should know that we're not this physical body, we're not simply the subtle, astral, intellectual mind and intelligence, that we're the spiritual force that's within this body that makes everything alive. So I'm come to give you, he told the Australian, I come to give you a spiritual purpose to your life and to save you from a cat and dog's existence. Because an animal-oriented life, a materialistic life, it doesn't satisfy the self. You get some temporary happiness, you get suffering, things are always changing. But we want, Prabhupada wanted to give everybody an eternal, unlimited spiritual happiness. So that's what this festival has been, to awaken people a higher spiritual taste, that they can enjoy a higher spiritual happiness. Everybody was dancing in the street here, they were very happy, but we weren't drinking, but everybody was intoxicated naturally because it's our nature to be blissful, it's our nature to be happy. And that happiness comes from it naturally when we're spiritually awakened. So that's what the effect of this kind of a festival does. It makes you feel happy. By chanting, by singing, by seeing spiritual presentations. Just you saw before the beautiful dance of Uma, giving the Das Avatar. See this Bharatanatyam dance, the dancing itself is a language. I don't say that I know everything about that language, but she tried to explain a little bit to us. That every mudra, every movement has got a message to carry. And through the dance they're telling this message, a meditation on the different activities of the avatars who came from the spiritual world to our universe to give us spiritual upliftment, knowledge and salvation. So this is a wonderful part of this spiritual culture, is that even the dance, the music, everything has got a spiritual orientation to it. So we hope that all of you can appreciate that we don't have to have fun. You can still be spiritual. spiritual life is also fun. Having a festival like this, we shouldn't have to be like atheists in order to be fun. We can have fun even as a God-loving person. So that's part of the message here. We do the spiritual activities, but while we're doing it, we're having a lot of fun. And this is what we want everyone to do, is have a lot of fun here today in this spiritual message. Well, you heard, you're all very fortunate because you're living here in the UK, in the European Union. You have got the freedom of religion, you can practice, and that's why we're so fortunate we can practice this kind of a spiritual, cultural festival right here at Victoria Square in front of the town hall, with the mayor also coming and inaugurating the festival, and the town councillors and everything. Because this is a free country and we have all these rights here. However, we heard from Bhakti Bringa Govinda Maharaj that our brothers and sisters who are in Kazakhstan, they face a lot of difficulties. They lost their temple, lost their houses, lost their goshalas, everything. And there's been no kind of resolution to this. So I hope all of you approach him. He's still standing here. Any way you can help him, whether it's some kind of support or any kind of donation or whatever you can to help him, to help the devotees who are in this dire condition in Kazakhstan, which is also a sectarian country, but the questionable whether they're practicing what they're preaching, what they're saying. But like this all over the world, they have these Ratha Yatras. I lost track, but it's over 100. They have a big one in Durban, South Africa, every Easter. About 200,000 people attend. It's a 4-day festival. Of course, here in the UK, they have a number. They had just on the 29th of July, they had in Trafalgar Square in London.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.